They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Hello Forza fans! Let's take it back to 1991 in this sweet BMW M3 series as we get underway at Hakone. I've qualified in 6th, but it's a recurring theme that I appear to get underway quite slowly in this car in all 3 races that I'm about to show you. Anyway, we enter the first corner with fairly little in the way of events, just aiming to stay quite high up and not get ploughed into by anybody in the midfield. There's a little bit of contact ahead between Mad Tom and Jeff Smed, and then they both elect that they don't want the podium and they just turn left off the track together, making everything nice and simple for me to go into a podium position. The guys in 1st and 2nd look pretty quick. In qualifying, I wasn't too close. I was about a second behind the 2 of them. So I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do anything except for just consolidate a podium place here. We'll run through the whole of the first lap and show how it goes. So it's important to sort of try and stay quite wide here so you can get a nice sweeping entrance onto the start-finish straight. And that's exactly what I do, really. The guys are snaking around in front. Maybe a mixture of contact, maybe a mixture of the car being a little tricky on the rear end. And then as we enter the first corner here, you'll see that ADG 292 has a little bit of a wobble, which turns into a big slide. And I manage that they just don't, overcorrect into me on the outside, and I managed to just sweep around the outside and stick in 2nd place. Now you can see ADG is only 0.7 seconds behind me going into the 3rd lap, and it looks like I'm catching first. I've got it down to 1.5 seconds, but that's about as close as it was getting. I was sort of losing and gaining over the course of the whole lap. ADG here down to 0.5 behind me, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, so it's looking like we're gonna be going into battle on the start-finish straight. But then something happens behind me which I don't see because I don't have a rear view mirror in cockpit view. But when I think that I'm going to have to go on the defensive, sweep round the corner and the time just gains, look, 1.6, 1.8, 2.5, 3 seconds. So they must have had another wobble, and that's given me a bit of breathing space so that I can try and attack Monaro Man in 1st place with 3 laps to go. Here we go, onto the straight then, thinking I'm going to have to really pull my finger out because I've lost another 0.5 seconds. Then suddenly, Monaro Man quits. We really have gone back to 1991 when internet access wasn't so widespread and certainly wasn't so quick and stable. Monaro Man sacrifices his 1st place for me there.
One more lap.
I've gained a 14-second lead, and then at the end of the race a 15, nearly 16-second lead over 2nd place. So that's my 1st race over and done with. A little bit of good fortune needed, but we've moved up from 6th to 1st, and I will gladly take yet another win for Hot Circuit. That's a fantastic result, but it's about as good as it got as we go to the 2nd race, which is the reverse layout of Grand Oak Raceway. And as luck would have it, or maybe the opposite of luck would have it, it's raining at the start of the race, which was obviously not the case in qualifying, so I didn't really expect that. I started in 4th place, and I was actually pretty hopeful that I might be able to get up here because the rainy conditions have been pretty kind to me. But watch this. I get a clatter from the back. Doesn't really affect me too badly, but everybody just carries so much more speed into that, and before you know it, I am down into 10th place, 11th, and then 12th, I think it is. 2 guys go off on the left of the track into the gravel, so I'm back up into 10th, but watch this masterclass. Oh yes, the famous 6-way overtake as we go back into 4th position. So we did 4th to 10th to 12th to 10th to 4th, all in the space of about 3 corners. It's not all going to be plain sailing though, because as I get on the brakes here, I get a bit of a nudge, pushed out wide, and 3 other guys who I'd just taken for position all sweep past me again. So down into 7th, easy come, easy go. As we get on the brakes here, might as well show the whole first lap because it's been pretty eventful up to now. I'm giving lots of space on the inside. Should be up to 6th. I certainly am, and then it's a left-hander coming up, so I should have the inside closed off nicely. But I do go a little wide in the wet conditions, and I'm losing ground on the top 5 now. But I'm pleased to just be back in a competitive position with another 4 laps remaining, which is the key point here. So as we get to the end of the first lap, we're going to carry on the footage here because this first corner is kind of quick, but I kind of overslowed for it, so I lose a position to Maverick there on the inside. And now I'm under heavy pressure from Shimpu. I managed to hold them off for a couple of corners, so I'm giving space on the inside there because I can see the arrows. I'm not 100% sure of their exact location, so I just try and take the inside here, but once again run wide but get a reasonable exit. But Shimpu gets a better one. As you can see, we're level on the timesheets more or less as we come down to the next corner. Maverick's looking pretty good. I close in on this one, just get a bit more speed, but Shimpu got way more speed and switches to the inside and takes us both quite convincingly. But now there's going to be some serious problems as Shimpu gets pretty hot into the corner. There's another car off, as you're about to see, that decides to rejoin across their path. And then they get tipped, bang, straight into my path. Thank you so much. And when we get going again, I'm down in 14th. Here's me just taking 13th before the end of the lap. And then 12th, I get a dink in the back. So I don't know if that car that was ghosted there unghosted immediately and crashed into the back of me. I think that's what happened. So with 3 laps to go, we're in 12th position. I get another dink in the back, but manage to hold it even though the car gets a bit of a slide. And now I'm just desperately trying to get as many positions as possible. That collision was really unfortunate. Not a lot really I could do. The rejoin wasn't great, but it was more unfortunate because of Shimpu sliding on the outside as well and just pitching them into me. So I'm having a good scrap with Vinyaki for 11th place, which it looks like I've managed to get on the drag down to the next corner. And I've got my sights firmly set on hopefully getting at least a top 10. As I lose the position again down to 12th. But look at this. I get a great run compared to the other 3 in front of me. Can it be another triple overtake? We've had a 6-way overtake in this race. Can we get a triple overtake now a little later on? We kind of do. Hold it with a lot of space on the outside. Don't want to crash into people unnecessarily, especially if it's going to affect me in these difficult conditions with not much traction. We stay in 10th for now, hunting down 9th place Vinyaki, or Viniki. And then we end the 3rd lap. So we're going to skip forward to the final lap because I've lost a bit of ground. I'm 2.5 seconds behind, but they go off, make a mistake on the final lap. I'll take that 9th place, thank you very much. And at 7.8 seconds behind Shimpu, that was the best I could do. We came home 9th. But considering we had some pretty hard setbacks in that race, I think 9th is a fair result. I would have liked it to have been better, but fair considering the circumstances. So we go into our final race of the day in this BMW M3. And it is starting 3rd here at Road America. As you're about to see, the penalties in this game haven't been too bad for me, but we're about to get an absolute travesty of a decision from the stewards. As watch this, I get clattered into by Ekidrush, and I get a 2.25 second penalty for an avoidable contact apparently, even though I didn't move at all. and I just had cars scraping down the outside of me. Power Quebec gets on the grass. There's a collision registered there, but I thought I just about got out of their path as they rejoined, and I am straight away up to third once again, but I've got a 2.25 second penalty, and this is going to be really tough now. Ekidrush is right behind me, 0.3 seconds, and this was going to be a pretty titanic battle. I knew that I was going to have to pull a 2.3 second gap at least, probably, to hold my podium. So I was just trying to drive as cleanly and as quickly as possible. But really, their pace is right up there with me. So I get taken just before the start-finish straight, but my straight line speed seems to be much better than theirs. So they've optimized their setup clearly for corners, I think, because they tend to catch me over the course of the lap. But I've got them in a straight line. So this one's going to be a pretty interesting battle as we go into lap 2 of 6. I end up taking the inside line. The orange arrow to my left is kind of close, but I've just got the advantage. But watch this. As I brake, bang, absolute dive bomb, and I again switch back and take third place back. It seems to be what's happening. I got my 2.25 second penalty against Ekidrush, and then I just got clattered into. So it seems like, even though there's been quite a bit of fair racing, there's also a bit of misjudgment in terms of the corners. I wouldn't say dirty driving at this stage, but just extremely aggressive driving. Now look, again, they go down my inside, but get late on the brakes, but this time managed to stay fully on the track with enough momentum to stay ahead of me. So I'm down to fourth, and now I'm starting really to think about having a 2.25 second gap to fifth place, so at least I don't lose any more positions. I'm gaining in the slipstream here, down to the final couple of turns. Get on the brakes nice and early. I don't want to have any kind of incident, and we both get around there. Little bit of a slide ahead from Ekidrush, and then we are back onto the start-finish straight, where once again I will gain. Look at this, here I come in the slipstream. So it is a pretty good battle for third. I would like to get third, even if I lose it because of the absolute joke of a penalty. But it would be nice to at least hard race for this position, because it seems like we're on a pretty even kind of lap time, but I have more straight line speed and they're just better in the corners, and that's because I haven't really set the car up. I've just gone with the stock, because I'm only at car level 10, as you see here, so I've only just started driving it. They're getting a bit snaky here though, and as we come down to the final couple of corners, I get on the brakes, make sure to not do anything stupid, and they go off the track. So I will take third back, thank you very much. Which I managed to hold throughout lap 5, so we get to the end here, and it's another battle of the late breakers here. I go to the grass a tiny bit. They've actually got me on the outside. So really fantastic battle, even though there's been a bit of door banging going on. And I get a decent exit onto the straight again. So it's pretty much the story as it's been throughout this race. I am about to pull up on the straight and hopefully outbrake them into the first corner on the inside as we enter the final lap. I doubt very much that I am going to get the 2.25 second gap that I need, but it would be nice for my ego just to take that podium on, merit, kinda. We'll see. I managed to hold it down the inside without any collisions there, and then as we come down to the second turn, we are about to have a bit of a bash from behind. I leave loads of space on the inside, look, and there is a couple of contacts. I assume as Ekidrush runs wide, and we are once again neck and neck down the very, very long straight, and the huge braking zone that will be for third place in this race. I get a little bit of a bash here. I don't know if they turn into me by mistake. I'm as far over to the grass as possible. Look, there's a bit of a hit there. We get on the brakes. I haven't got the inside line. They have. I'm just hoping to get a better exit. It's been really good fun. And I think, you know what? They've got a slide. Let's do it. I know I'm going to get 4th place, whatever. 5th place is 11 seconds back. And would you believe it? I get driven off the track. So that's actually been a battle with a bit of a sour taste in the mouth now, to be honest, because yeah, there was contact between us a little bit, but it was mostly from them rather than me. I left a lot of space in the battle. It was very fair, and to sort of get run off the track into the pit wall like that at the end is pretty unsporting. I don't really appreciate that, and hopefully I don't meet them in a close race anytime soon, but they would have got 3rd anyway because of my penalty. So it's 4th that I have to settle for. But here's a little bit of justice for you. When it comes round to the podium celebrations, Ekidrush takes his 3rd, undeserved, and the other 2 drivers are protesting by not even bothering to show up. Yeah, you enjoy that podium on your own, mate. Well deserved. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed it for way more Forza action in future. Take care.